Cadet, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am Cadet Captain Nicholas Poon. I am a senior here at the Marine Military Academy, and this is my 4th year. I started here as a summer camper here in, I believe, was it 2007, I think. It was my 8th grade summer, and well, that first experience was a little bit unique. The story behind that was I was searching for a military summer camp, and my uncle looked up on the internet, and this place was the first spot to pop up. We clicked on it, took a look at it, said, okay, it's good. My dad thought, well, you know, this will probably knock the military out of my system, since I come from the Bay Area and we're not exactly very, high on the military aspect of life. So after the 4-week ordeal, I came back home and I asked my dad, I want to come back here for the school year. My dad was okay with it after a little bit of convincing, a little bit more convincing from my mom. Of course, it's kind of natural for moms to be a little attached. But when I came back, even though I knew the basics, it was still challenging. Not so much like struggling in school-wise, but more of just living the life, even though I had been for the last 4 weeks at summer camp. But there's a difference between being a trainee, learning everything new, and being a cadet, trying to raise a leadership skill. That's something that I took to heart.
So this is something, the military is something that you saw as part of your future.
Yes. I believe military, just how it's structured is important for anyone to learn leadership and discipline and anything that is necessary so that you have some pride in your life. You can't just go around, even though you did a whole bunch of stuff, if you don't have the skills to carry through with it, then there's not really a whole bunch of effort in it.
So as a senior, as you look back now, again, you started in the summer after 8th grade or before 8th grade?
I started in the summer after 8th grade.
After 8th grade. And looking back now, do you feel like that was a good decision for you?
Definitely. Even though it was a little bit harsh at first, but when I got back home after spending all that time during my summer camp here, I just kind of figured out, well, the brotherhood and the camaraderie and just basic discipline and how you carry yourself, it was changed significantly. My parents and my family noticed that from the day I got off the plane. When they got to get me at the gate, they were kind of shocked, almost.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it's definitely put a different spin on my life. I love it. I mean, before I used to go around, I didn't have a whole bunch of pride. I was just kind of trying to scoot through school. Thought if I just made the grades, then I'll be okay. Then I came here, and it dawned on me that, in order to get where I wanted to be, which I always had been wanting to be a Marine for my life, to get to that point, I had to learn leadership. I had to learn discipline. I had to learn, self-bearing, how to keep yourself composed, especially in a leadership position.
Well, I've seen you on the field as part of the drill team, and I'm just incredibly impressed with your leadership. I've seen you in a number of different positions here, and in all those positions, very impressed with your leadership. I hope that you feel the same thing. is there anything that you would like to add in terms of if you were talking to a student in 8th grade or 7th grade that is looking either at the military or college, what can you reflect on, or what would you like to say to those students?
Let's see, what would I say? Well, so you have to have faith in yourself. You can do it. At any point you feel like you're going to drop the ball, don't try and have those thoughts. How I got to where I am now as the battalion S3 and the drill team commander and the president of Rotary and all that stuff is because I had the confidence in myself that I was able to do those things. I mean, sure, you stumble, that's, but you have to have the self-confidence to know that you can get back up and you can keep going. There's definitely no problem in trying to get that in your head.
Do you feel that MMA helped you with your confidence?
Yes, definitely. My major story on that one is last year as a junior, I used to be the battalion sergeant major, and I was in line to be battalion commander, but I thought since I was a top dog and I could get away with anything, almost, I got caught on a couple occasions. Well, it wasn't major, it was just flying home in the wrong uniform, but it's still against the rules. I'm still breaking the rule, and I was held accountable for it, and it definitely hurt for a while, but I knew that if I just stayed where I was, just kind of sulking over what I did, I knew I wouldn't get anywhere. So I just got back up, started going again, and I got back on battalion staff. I might not be exactly where I wanted to be, but I'm still an officer, still a captain, but there's kind of a little story behind that one. My grandpa was here as a captain in 1957, I believe, when this was still an Air Force base. So when I got promoted, we kind of had a captain to captain talk. It was kind of nice.
Fantastic.
But for anyone who either is an 8th grader or anyone who wants to attend here, in order to be successful, you have to have the self-confidence to know that you can do something here that makes a difference. You can do something important, but you have to strive for it too. You have to work. It's not just going to end up in your hands. One thing about MMA that I really like about it is the opportunity that I've had. Not in the sense of just being here and having top classes or anything like that, but the opportunity to lead. For example, I founded the MMA Airsoft team. It's similar to paintball, but just uses a smaller caliber round. How we got that started, it was about a year or two ago, I think 2 years. I went up to Sergeant Major Kinsley and I asked him, "Sir, I want to start this team. What can I do? Will I have any support for it?" He said, "You can start it if you want, but we can't really support it." So from there, I rose to the challenge, and I found a sponsor for us, Staff Sergeant Compost, who I still greatly thank for still supporting us. We have to supply our own weapons, our own ammo, our own parts to fix all of our logistics. But being able to do that, to me, it's kind of learning, let's say, how to run a business, how you have to how you have to keep track of everything: personnel, logistics, training. The only thing that really our sponsor does is just supervise. I'm more of in charge of making sure that everyone's well equipped, everybody's weapons are working properly, training them. Because it's a hobby, it was more of a sport for me. It's something that I like doing. But being able to go out and share that with people by having a team and, you know, leading them through exercises and just also having fun has really taught me a lot more leadership experience than I thought I would get anywhere else. But that's due to the opportunity that I got here at MMA.
Do you believe your future is brighter because of your experience here?
Definitely. I have no doubt. I wish I was here. I wish I made more of an impact on people. My first couple of years I kind of stayed quiet, you know, just trying to get up by myself, and then I noticed that, you know, in order to be a true leader, you gotta bring other people along with you.
Before we wrap this up, I want to give you the opportunity to say hello to friends back home, your parents. You mentioned your grandfather. Is anybody else that you'd like to say hello to?
Well, Nat, I know later on you still won't be at UCSD, but you know what? I hope that if you ever see this, I hope you can still have some pride for your little brother. Dad, I know you're not the biggest fan of me being here or wanting to go to the Naval Academy or anything, but I still love you. Mom, of course, you're my biggest supporter yet. I don't know, I might not be here if it wasn't for you. Also, Grandpa, I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you either, to talk me out of those times when I had a bad day. And I don't know, all my friends back at home and here. Without them, I don't know where I would be at this point in time. It really, you know, everybody back at home who support what I'm doing, everybody here who's helping me become a better person, I can't thank you enough.